Welcome to the Dope Show. DOPE stands for Developing Opportunities for Personal Empowerment, and I am your host, Kiana Hughes. Let's talk about what's dope this week. Now, this is a special one. This is the Halloween edition, so I'm going to put on my Halloween costume. Okay, so this is what I do, Every year for the past couple of years now, I get a cute little fascinator hat, and that is my costume. So we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween. Now, Edie, did you hand out candy for Halloween?
Girl, you don't hand out candy in my neighborhood.
No, I know. Edie lives like on the third floor, so you gotta really want that candy if you come trick or treating by the Moore house. Well, you know what's funny to me? So I bought candy for trick or treaters, but no trick or treaters came by my house, and that's fine. That's just kind of the neighborhood that I live in. I know, but all the kids in our neighborhood, they always go to like the rich neighborhoods, and I don't live in the rich neighborhoods yet, so basically I just get the candy for us. But there's always this myth that's out there that people are going to be giving out cannabis, marijuana edibles, and marijuana candy to kids for Halloween. Every year they come out with these stories, and so it's just the biggest myth ever. And actually the Washington Post touched on this, and they kind of brought up a few different headlines that were posted by states in like North Carolina, Florida, California, Massachusetts, New Jersey. Each one of these states, within their local newspapers, they had headlines of, parents should check their kids' candies for marijuana candy, or be careful. And this really reminds me of how back in the day they used to say parents should check the kids' candies for like razor blades and nails, and we never found anything. And that's not to say that you shouldn't check your kids' candies, but I remember those days. I would just throw away the Tootsie Rolls and the candy corn, and
you don't eat candy corn?
No, ma'am. Nobody should eat candy corn. Let's be clear about that.
Candy corn season.
But I would just throw away the candy I didn't like. That's what, checking the candy amounted to for me and my mom. But, each year they have these rumors, and they started way back in 2014. That's the way back 3 years ago. But this was back when the first recreational markets really started in Washington and also in Colorado. As it stands, back in 2014, edibles made up about 50% of the marijuana sales in the state of Colorado. However, there have been
none,
goose egg reported incidences of children who have gotten marijuana candy in their Halloween bags. Now, the New Jersey, I think it was the Attorney General, put out a warning, warning parents to check their kids' candy for marijuana edibles. And they cited a story about a 10-year-old New York boy who was ended up having to go into the emergency room because he had ingested some some marijuana candies. However, that was not on Halloween. That had nothing to do with Halloween. This is just someone that got into his parents' stash or someone else's stash, which is something that can happen on any day. It has nothing to do with Halloween. But this particular notion that people would give away to children as trick-or-treat candy marijuana candy is just absolutely ridiculous, and it really points to just how much people don't know about anything having to do with cannabis and the industry and all of that. So first of all, and they even mentioned this in that Washington Post article, they even said, listen, part of the reason why people are not doing this and why this is such a ridiculous notion is that marijuana candy is expensive.
You don't be giving it away.
You're not giving it away. So if you spend, to get a little jar of gummies in Colorado, you might spend maybe $20 for about 3.5 ounces of candy, versus if you were to spend $20 on regular gummies, you can get like 20 pounds, right? Or 15 pounds. So people are not spending their money and passing out their marijuana candy, their edibles, to kids. That's just ridiculous. And furthermore, I would venture to say that Halloween has become a much more acceptable holiday and a much more celebrated holiday. I should have looked up the numbers on this, but I know this is, they're making millions and millions of dollars on Halloween decorations, Halloween candy. The price of Halloween candy was off the chain this year. I spent a good $20 myself, and I didn't even get any trick-or-treaters.
You got any candy left?
I got lots of candy. Well,
you ain't bringing no
sidebar, I have Reese's, I got Take 5, and I got Heath bars, because we buy the candies that we like just in case nobody comes to get it, then we still have something for ourselves. But besides the fact that marijuana, candies, and edibles, they are expensive as hell, people just don't really have an interest in harming children during Halloween. It has become much more of a family and children-oriented holiday than it's ever been before. And I'm not here to say that you should or shouldn't celebrate it, but I would say that just like cannabis, Halloween might be getting a little bit of a bad rap. People are not ultimately just out here to do harm to your children or celebrating it as a satanic holiday. And honestly, that's just not something that you have to worry about in terms of people giving out marijuana candies to kids for Halloween. So, let's hope that at some point, as cannabis becomes more and more accepted and legalized in more and more states, and hopefully at some point at the federal level, that these kinds of myths and rumors and misinformation will just stop, because it really is just pure ridiculousness. Ain't nobody trying to give the kids no marijuana edibles. Okay?
Hello.
Thank you. All right. And that's what's dope this week. I'm your host, Kiana Hughes, and make sure you keep on developing those opportunities for personal empowerment. Stay dope, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.